Okay.
You're on.
Right. So it's likely, apart from my good friend and neighbour Chris Wickens, that nobody in the group will have heard of Purple Shoots, because actually it started off as a Welsh-based charity that received some funding a couple of years ago to cover the southwest of England. And actually, at the moment, we cover the whole of England as well as Wales. So what it says at the bottom there is exactly what we are trying to tackle. So, for example, what we don't do is we typically don't help people who've got a clean credit record, because if you have an absolutely clean credit record, you will go to your bank as an entrepreneur starting up, you'll go to the startup loan company. And even if people apply to me or my colleagues, if we know they've got a clean credit record, we will recommend they go to the startup loan company or their own bank, because it's simply because the rate they'll get there is much better than our rate, which I'll cover later on. But we don't charge a dramatically high rate, but we are duty bound to give our applicants the best possible advice, because at the end of the day, as it says at the bottom, we are trying to tackle poverty, unemployment, and financial exclusion by encouraging us, because I was an entrepreneur 22 years ago and went self-employed, and therefore to give them some form of independence in terms of how they define that. So this is the team that deals with the funding side of Purple Shoots in Wales and the southwest of England. So we do have a board of trustees. Karen Davis was our founder 10.5 years ago. Mike Lewis is the lovely chap that I knew when I worked in a bank, who helped recruit me 2 years ago. And there you can see me on the right. So I'm an advocate and loan manager. And as you can see there, I've been around a bit. So I've been in manufacturing, insurance, banking on the business side, and I've run my own business for 22 years. So that's us. So we kind of do know what we're talking about when it comes to looking at loan applications from people. So we are a registered charity, and bizarrely, we are also regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. Now, I don't know if we're the only charity that is regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority, but there are not many charities that will get that status. And the FCA has acknowledged that our core activity is to improve people's lives and people who are disadvantaged. So we do get the regulation, which gives us all sorts of access to funding from entrepreneurs themselves or from people who are responsible finance members. So yes, people donate money to us, other institutions donate money to us. You can donate money to us on a monthly basis or as a one-off, but we do also recommend other forms of responsible finance if we can't do the loan. So myself and Mike, if you apply to us for a loan, we will know if we can do it, and if we can't, we know where to signpost you to other friendly lenders if we're not capable, either because the size of the loan or the nature of the loan or something more challenging to us as a charity. So that's the issues that we have when we deal with an individual. They'll either have a poor credit score, that could include being on a debt management plan, being a discharged bankrupt, county court judgments, defaulted payments. It could be that they have no assets at all, they've got no savings at all, they have a social stigma attached to themselves because they've got low confidence and they don't believe they have the right skills to achieve anything in life. And we are trying to help them put those issues to one side and look at the person and the idea that that person's trying to create. So I'm not sure if it's covered later on the slides, but just for reference, 96% of all applicants are either on one form of benefit or have been on a form of benefits in the past. So I don't think you'll find many high street banks looking to lend money to them. It's as simple as that. So the options they have without Purple Shoots being there are to go to either illegal lenders or loan sharks, as we might know them, or doorstop lenders or high cost credit. So just to put these facts into perspective for people listening, if you went to the startup loan company with a clean credit record, you can borrow up to £25,000 to fixed rate of 6%. If you come to Purple Shoots with whatever credit record, we would charge you 14.5% fixed rate. On a loan of up to £5,000, it can be as little as £500, but up to £5,000, for which you can repay it over 3 years. And as it says at the bottom, none of these options are typically open to the normal person who applies for a loan with me. So they can't go to a bank. They don't particularly want to go to other lenders because some of the rates, even for people like Funding Circle, Iwaka, Pinnacle, you're looking at an APR of nearly 100% APR, and our APR is 25% as an example. So yes, we do charge more in the rate for the risk, but that's because we are looking at people who would not get a monetary loan option anywhere else. So these are some examples of the people that we give money to. And it says there that 96% of our borrowers are on benefits or have been rejected by everyone else. So the family on the left were basically migrants who settled in South Wales and were looking to produce pizzas. And they just could not get money anywhere else. And we gave them a little loan of £1,000 to get their oven and their equipment for one of the staff there that's shown. And within 2 years, they'd grown to employ 4 of the family. But they just couldn't get any money elsewhere. And the lady on the right who was doing candles got a small loan of £500 in just outside Bristol because she could not get any money anywhere else. She was bringing up 3 young children, no father input to the children, so on benefits, didn't even think she had a chance of raising the money to get the raw materials to sell candles. So the point of showing these as examples is they are typical examples of the type of person who applies to us for money. And actually, the first conversation I have with them, if they come out with the immortal words, which are, you're not going to be able to help me, that's exactly the sort of person that we want to talk to. Because the typical person that we don't want to talk to is, well, how long is it going to take? And when do I get the money? Because they're just not the right person. They don't get what we're trying to achieve as a charity. But those are just 2 good examples of the people that we try to help. Another one is we do a lot of catering, food, personal services. And for Idabi, we gave her the loan to buy all the equipment to produce her food in and to cook. And she's based in Bristol. So these are micro businesses because we're offering micro loans of up to £5,000. The people that we don't lend to, just for reference and information, is we don't lend to property-related applicants. If they want a boiler for a buy-to-let, that's not our type of customer. We don't lend to people who gamble or have an addiction. And if we know that, we'll see that on their bank accounts, we would refer them to the Nelson Trust, obviously, who help people with any form of addiction. And we don't lend people who are going to use the money to lend on to other people, which in old style words is usury. So we don't lend to people who are going to lend that money on to other people. This lady was very interesting because the only reason she came to us, she does produce second-hand toilet paper. Now, this lady had been with a well-known high street bank for 7 years, and she had, because of COVID or Brexit, I'm not sure which one, she had a container of toilet paper sat in Portsmouth, and she needed £5,000 to release it, and her bank of 7 years wouldn't give her the money, even though she had lots of money, trading accounts. So she came to us for a short-term loan, and basically we did what we would call a bridging loan to allow that container to be released to Parissa, or Paris as she's known, and Paris will now come to any event that we are showing at and sing the praises of Purple Shoes because we're flexible in what we look at as an idea.
Excellent.
Basically.
Excellent.
And that's a summary. That's a summary of
just make sure I'm on mute.
That's a summary of the type of number of visitors, number of loans, what we've lent out, the demographic of the people that we lend it to in terms of male or female. We do ask people, when you go to our website and apply for a loan, it asks for your personal information, a brief history of who you are, if there are credit issues, what they are, permission to do a credit search, and we will ask people for a business plan. You don't have to have a written business plan. We can then ask you a set of questions which will give us an idea of what you're looking to do. But we do need to understand your personal budget situation in terms of if you are on benefits, what do you receive, what are your commitments, because you do have a responsibility to prove some form of affordability for the loan.
You've got 1 minute, Stuart.
Thank you very much. We tried to make it easy for our applicants. So if we do need to see their bank statements, we don't want to see physical statements. So we ask them to load it onto a software that we provide them with access to, and then we can access their statements online. And in terms of the type of people that I've lent in the last 2 years, I've done photovoltaic cells, Reiki, bricklayer, motorcycle repairs, and the common denominator between them all is that they have some form of credit issue, or quite frankly, when it comes to the 48% of loans to women, those women have been battered by life and typically by one of their ex-partners or husbands. And we're just simply trying to help them rebuild their life. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've missed. The one thing that we do also do is we also run self-reliant groups, and there's some groups in Cheltenham. So if you have people that think they have an idea, but they are simply too scared to go networking as we know it in the traditional sense, then Leslie, our local self-reliant group leader, would encourage them to join a self-reliant group. So there you go. Bang on 10 minutes.